And as promised, I switch over to English straight away. So thanks for the introduction. Yes, I'm very pleased and very happy that I get the chance to talk to you about space, because not only is it my passion, yes, I did spend the last decade training more than 80 astronauts that have been flying to the International Space Station. And surreal, what a great topic. I never thought of my job or the field that we work in as surreal. But clap your hands if you think space is damn surreal. I do too. So thanks again for inviting me, and I hope that in the next 15, 20, 30 minutes, let's see, right? I can take you on a little journey, because I want to take you far away from where we're sitting today. And I want to take you somewhere not a lot of people have been so far.
Only a handful of people know what it's like to be an astronaut.
And that's typical, by the way. Technical problems whenever you switch an HDMI cable to something else. So we tried it again because you should be able to see a video. Maybe not. Okay. You know, on the space station we have windows as well. So sometimes in the morning, just like this, when our astronauts do get up, it's exactly the same. They have to restart their laptops. I have to reconsider whether I'm taking you or not. But that's okay. If not, you'll see another 30-second pitches on his laptop. That's fine too. Da-da-da. When you're on stage talking to about 2,000 other people, then this is something that has happened to me before. And the fun thing is, I could talk to you without the pictures. That's just not the same. So bear with me for a second. That's when other people that love Apple, they say, yeah, I told you. Right? We'll try it from here. Let's see. Should we give it one more try? Yeah.
Only a handful of people know what it's like to be an astronaut. To float freely in orbit, unbound by gravity. To work, learn, and live in space. You.
Cool place, isn't it? Yeah, nodding. That's good. Okay, so this is an animation, obviously, but this is also real. We have this flying above our heads, and in real life, this looks like this. And because we are a nice group, and I know you want to be active, it's still early, but you've had a coffee and shot already, bear with me and answer some questions for me with yes and no, and when you say yes, you just get up. How about that? Before knowing me or my topic, have you ever heard about the International Space Station? Yes, that makes me very happy. Thank you. Thank you. So you see, you're among people that know about space, so that's great. More and more people do get up when I ask this question. So 2 other questions, and they're only for my own personal little statistics. So this morning, who of you remembers waking up in bed and feeling your pillow on your ear? And this nice soft feeling. That's not all of you. What did the rest do? You were not sleeping. Okay, second question, it might be odd to you as well. And now reconsider maybe changing seats. Who of you has taken a shower this morning? Yes, everybody's getting up. Okay, good. Okay, nobody wants to change seats. So if you answer those 2 questions with yes, and you did enjoy both of them, and you're like me, a gravity lover, but I want to introduce to you a concept that might not be something in your daily life that you think of when you're lying in bed in the morning or you're in the shower enjoying water falling down, which you can only do on Earth right now. There are some people above your heads that can't do that. And the funny thing is, when I'm traveling around the world now, talking to people. Sometimes I have students or people in university in front of me, and it struck me just last year, talking to some of them. Those millennials, when they were born, from the day they were born, there was not a single day where we did not have a person living and working in space. We belong to the people right now, in that phase on our planet, where we can say as mankind, we manage to put people into space every single day. So whether it's part of your life or whether you're saying, wow, that whatever she's talking about, that's crazy, it doesn't matter, it's true. People do live and work above your heads right now. There. So, International Space Station, crowd, International Space Station. Yeah, some more questions for you. You're all somewhat familiar with it. How high is she flying?
20 miles, 400.
Okay, I'm a physicist, I need units. Meters, centimeters. Aha, kilometers. So, okay. Yes, we take that 400 kilometers above your heads. So when you're traveling 400 kilometers above your head, which speed do you have? When you're inside of the space station, with which speed are you traveling around the planet?
25,000 kilometers.
You want to come to all my other talks? I did not pay him.
That's
I don't have that. So imagine, okay, you all know what it's like to go 120, maybe 200 kilometers, 300 in a train, okay, with, on the airplane. 28,000 kilometers per hour. This is the speed our astronauts travel on the space station. Doesn't mean much because it's a big number. If you're not familiar with numbers and you like letters more, I do understand that. It's so fast that if I could take you right now and we could be there for one entire day, it would be awesome. You know why? Because we had 16 times sunrise and sunset in one day. This is about the speed that they are traveling on. But so how many people do normally live and work there? I didn't say in the beginning that it would be a question round, right? So you were like, I can enjoy, just come, sit, drink. No. How many? 5? 6? Well, that's good. So normally we would have 6 people, and yes, Alex was just there for us. He returned in December. Right now we have 3 people on board. There's a good reason for it, why there's only 3. Normally we have 6. It will go back to 6 in March. So you are familiar with the concept of that space station. Again, 5 nations have decided many decades ago, we want to live, work peacefully in space together. Let's come up with a concept so we can do that. So they did build this space station together. 5 nations. Help me. Which 5? Russia. Japan. Yes. What is the rest doing when you're sleeping? You should be all awake. Be like children. You know what happens when I ask questions to children groups? Wow, they blew me away. It's like, wow, 5, 10. They all scream at me. Try it. It's good. It's relieving. Russia, Japan,
US.
United States. Who else?
Hungary.
What should I answer there? Oh, yes, thank you. ESA. The European Space Agency. Canada is missing. 5. So, working, living, building the space station. Okay, I want you to imagine. Now, if we have to sit there and communicate with our astronauts, and I say, Alex, at 8 we have to talk about the experiment. I'll look at my watch and go, which 8? So, which time do we have on the space station? Which time would you want to have? Again, Russia built it, and the States, and Japan, and so we all sit at a big round table and go like, let's think about space-time. What do we want?
I guess you take the time where the headquarters is based.
When the, sorry?
Where the headquarters is based.
Okay, where the headquarters is based. What's a headquarter for space? A mission control center. Good call. Houston has one. We have one in Munich. There's one in Tsukuba in Japan. There's one in Moscow. Doesn't solve anything. Again, what time? How do I know that? Yes? Okay, again, I rewind and I take you again on the 16 times sunset and sunrise that we have. So that would be awesome. I would just have to be very fast talking to him. I would have about 2 seconds.
perhaps the late border and Pacific some?
Something, no? If I could choose, it would always be Cologne time. That's where I work. That's where I sit. Why should I get up in the middle of the night, right? And you might say the same. So do the Russians and so do the Americans. Thankfully, they decided it's UTC. So it's something like our time, Greenwich time, yeah? Might not be of a very interesting fact for you, but I will now alter the way you're thinking about space. Because from this moment onwards, you have no excuse not to think about space. Because when you wake up tomorrow morning, it's a Saturday, it could be a little bit later, but when you wake up tomorrow morning, you will feel the pillow at your head and go like, oh, cool, gravity. They can't do that in space. Space, hang on. They are getting up when I'm getting up. And when I'm going for lunch and meeting my friends, I know they're going to have lunch too, right now, there. And when I'm going for dinner, this is what they're going to do on the space station. From now on, every single day. When you go to work Monday morning, guess who's getting up to go for work? They are. Every single day. So from now on, you're all elder. No more excuses that your life is not somehow connected to space. Okay? How much it is connected, I would like to show you in a couple more insights. So you do know at least one person here. So to the lower right, you see Alex Pearson and his crew, at least the crew that was there until October last year. This is a normal crew of the space station. And the question is, okay, so Alex, who was training with two other people, Surreal to the left from NASA, and in the middle, his Russian colleague and commander of his rocket capsule, Sergei. How do we train them? How do we train astronauts? What kind of really weird job is it to be an astronaut trainer? Who wants to do that? Well, I did. And some other people, about 200 other people on this planet teach astronauts. And we teach them in training centers. So just raise your hand. Have you heard of Kennedy Space Center, Houston Space Center? That's somehow familiar, yeah? NASA sticker, everyone knows that. About 50 kilometers this way is our Houston, Europe. And don't be afraid if you did not know that, but the European Astronaut Training Center, EAC, is just situated outside of Cologne. And this is where all of the astronauts that travel to the ISS come and train every week. Which is cool, because it gives you the chance, if you really like this whole thing about being surreal with space, you can come and visit. But you can see it later. Let's talk about Alex. So when he travels around the world to get ready for his space flight, what does he actually have to do? Not only does he have to come to Cologne and visit us, he has to actually pack his bag and spend 5 weeks in Russia and 4 weeks in the States and 1 week in Japan and maybe 1 week here and 5 weeks back in Russia and so on and so forth for 3 years. 3 years is about the time that you need right now to travel and work for the space station and be prepared for all the experiments. To be prepared also means that you have to know the vehicle you're flying in. Right now, the Russians, they think, that's great, we're the only ones getting humans into space. Monopole is something in the world that is always connected to money. So if any one of you would like to come, let's go. 50 million US dollars. No? Mid-sized project, okay. But it's so cool, look at this. When they sit in their capsule and they're ready to launch, is that something that you would want to do? No? I don't understand why. I mean, doesn't it? Look at this. It's so comfortable having your knees against your chest, sitting there for 4 hours. You have your helmet somewhere in the view.
They're looking quite happy.
They do look quite happy, and I can share a little thought with you why they are so happy, even though it's not really the most comfortable thing sitting in a Russian Soyuz capsule. The reason why they're so happy is that for 3 years you have been pushed around the planet, your life belonged to other people, you've been told what to do, when to do it, what to learn and what to forget. You probably didn't see your family a lot, you missed a lot of birthdays, and you're finally there. After 3 years of training and tests and medical exams, this is the moment. You've been strapped in your capsule, okay, knees against your chest. Last goodbye, someone's going to close the hatch, turn it, and you will at least lift off in that rocket. This is what you know, with 2 other people that you've been training for. And you're waiting for this. Still don't want to come? No? Again, if you ride fast cars, that's your thing. It's about 28 million horsepower. Calculate that in Porsche. It's fun, right? It's especially fun if you're not sitting inside the capsule, but you get the chance of actually watching it. And that was a very special occasion because I was right there watching it, and you're just a kilometer away. You're in the middle of Russia. Well, what is used to be Russia in Kazakhstan, Baikonur. And in this desert, it seems to be that there's only one living thing. And I had to think about surreal. Yeah, what's surreal? That was surreal. You're sitting there, you're feeling the grass underneath your hands, and the only thing that you can focus on is that rocket. You don't hear a sound. Sometimes you hear some Russian voices counting in how far is the crew in, when is the launch, and so on and so on. And you can't believe it. The sound it makes when it starts, it's out of this planet. I can't describe it. I can only tell you it's probably the best thing that I could have imagined watching. When our 3 guys, like Alex did last year in June, traveled to the space station, well, not only do we wish them well and we watch them while the rocket leads up into the sky, we also have to think about, okay, well, this is not it. The launch itself is not it. The surreal part comes now. You actually have to work in space. Yeah, okay, so what does it mean, working in space? The first thing it does mean is arriving. So next good question. How long does it take Alex to arrive to the space station?
4 hours.
4 hours? 6 hours? Thank you. Yes. Where it was 2 days a couple of years ago, it's 6 hours only. Little side note, okay, you're sitting in the desert watching a rocket launch, and you're waving goodbye, and it's amazing, amazing, and then you know, 6 hours. This is when we have to go and watch again when they do the docking and the hatch opening. You are in Russia somehow with a lot of Russians. What do you do for 6 hours? They call it little waters, but it's really okay. So when you're sitting in the Kazakh desert and you're waiting for a capsule to actually dock to the space station, you have a lot of fun with a lot of Russians. Yes, but you only have to wait 6 hours. That's fine. Being surreal. Okay, I can show you pictures and I can tell you a lot about what space station life is like and what the space station looked like, and maybe for you it looks like a tin can and somehow reminds you of your Lego system that you had as a child, and yeah, cool, done, coffee. I understand it. It's a very technical thing, and when you look at it, it's shiny and it's somehow not, you can't grasp it. That's why I like to give you an analogy. So the analogy is, think of the space station like a vacation home. And the 5 nations that build a vacation home all build 1 or 2 of those rooms. Now you all are very familiar with your apartment. You can go blindfolded and find your things in the kitchen without stabbing you. That's just because you know it by heart. So all the astronaut trainers, we know those rooms by heart, and we teach everything that is in the rooms to the people that need to live and work there. But to actually understand the concept of how big that vacation home really is, we use Reed. And Reed is going to fly us through the space station.
Okay, here we are in the back of the ATV. We're at the very back end of the space station. We're going 18,000 miles an hour in this direction. And so I'm going to kick off and we'll do a quick fly through the stack of the International Space Station. That's fun things on the way. Dinner table again, got Max. You don't squeeze through the rock, especially when Max is here. And now we're going through into the FGB. Looks like we got a nice flight path here. Should be able to make it. down into node 1, station's gonna open up. Push, go high. Quick foot tag. Quick aileron roll. Through the lab. Into the ball form. A little spin into node 2, over Alex's crew quarters. And here we are, at the very front end of the International Space Station. Still going 18,000 miles an hour.
That's about the size of the space station. Yeah, applauding to Reed, who did this for us. One thing is, you know, when I was working for the European Space Agency and I was training them every day and I was preparing my lessons and also flying to Moscow and Houston a lot, it somehow became a routine. And I'm sure you all know about routine. Sometimes you sit in your office or your workspace on a Monday morning and you think, oh, I just really don't want to. And unfortunately, we do get job blind as well. We have a cool job teaching and training all these great people, but we do get job blind. So I'm really thankful that I can have occasions like this and showing you and giving you an idea about what we do, because it also inspires me again to think, that is surreal. That is absolutely crazy. This is crazy that right now we have people living and working in space. A little bit surreal is a question that then came up to my mind. It's like, how can I explain to you better what space station life is like? And there I need you again to answer me 2 questions. Okay, ready? Mm-hmm. First thing, have you ever been camping? Do you remember? Yes, makes me happy because I love camping, thank you. The rest, boo, you haven't really tried. Yeah? Okay. Second question, related. The ones of you who have been camping or just didn't admit it right now, who actually enjoyed it? That's great, thank you. So if you enjoyed the whole camping experience, and it's okay to maybe let go gravity, consider a career change, because I will show you that camping and being in space is so related. So you might want to consider also living there. And I show you this by how they eat in space. So that's a normal day, like today. Could be lunchtime, not today at dinner time, because Friday nights we meet in the Russian segment all together. But this is a normal routine for eating, and it's like camping. 3 essential things for camping. Little plastic bags where we store food. Well, the campfire is in, we do have a stove, but yeah, don't touch it. Little plastic bags, yeah, we have those. The food is much better than in camping, I can tell you. What is also essential in camping? Sometimes you don't have showers, but we have these cool wet wipes, the baby wipes. Right there. And one other thing that is really, really important in space, because you only have 2 hands, and maybe, yes, you can hold something in the air and place it there and do something else, but it's bungee cords and something to strap something. So cable binders, bungee cords, or Velcro. So you see on their clothes, these stripes, it's all Velcro. So sometimes if you're just tired of doing things, you just stick your spoon to it, stick your procedure to it, post it on somebody else, yes. You can do fun things with food as well, right? Yeah, enough of that. Again, you're changed now. From now on, go into your life, but every time you do something, like your eating routine or doing sports, for example, think about all those people out there that do exactly the same thing at the same time. That's a cool thing. One other thing that you have to do in space is that you have to enjoy your time. You're there for 6 months, or guys stay for 6 months entirely. For those 6 months, by the way, you were allowed to take something. 1.5 kilograms, personal items. That's about the size of a shoebox. Think about all the things that you really need in your life. When you fly to space, that's what you get. But sometimes, so days can be long. So what do you do when days are long? Well, you have to come up with some other things. And then you sit in your crew quarters and you just happen to find ping pong balls and you just go, yep, let's just have the first world championship of ping pong on the space station. That's what Alex and Reed did. It's not easy to play ping pong in space. It's not easy to play ping pong with ping pong balls, but what is really easy and cool in space is to play ping pong with water.
They were called water, kind of like raincoats. But up here on the space station, they allow you to play ping pong with a ball of water. And it's pretty cool.
So that's Scott Kelly. Scott was on the ISS for 1 entire year, and he's holding something like ping pong racket, but he's playing with water. Wonderful if you can see that, right? Small insight anecdote again. So when our astronauts return, just like Alex did now in December, sometimes in the training center in the mornings we see this from our returning astronauts. Oh, again, and we get, again, the damn orange juice doesn't hold. You get so used to living and working in space, sometimes you just play something, and you do something else, and you grab it again, and you come home and you do the same with the water and whatever you have in your hand, and car keys don't hold. Yeah. But at least, so we get used to the other things. One thing that was really great when Alex was flying his first time is that, now I have to be a little bit patriotic and be German, is something we were really good in Germany at that time. Right? And since astronauts also need to enjoy their time, this is what happened. I can't use the footage from last World Championship of Soccer, simply because of the fact we didn't win. Yeah? Yeah, fun. So, obviously, when you spend 6 months on a space station, yes, we do have to work. I have to say that again. It's 160 experiments per person in that half a year. We do need to have fun. And that's something that we learn when we teach them. And they return and they tell us about their life. And this is something that I want to give you as well. I know we all have hard days. And sometimes we don't want to do our work, but we have to put in an element of fun. You need to. Without it, it's just not worth it. And sometimes fun in the space station is also just looking outside. And here I just brought you a couple of pictures that I love looking at. I never get tired seeing this. And all those pictures are taken from this module, this room, which is our cupola. This is our 360-degree window. And this enables us to see our planet through our astronauts' eyes. So whenever you see a picture from space, it's very likely that a person actually pushed a trigger and took it from here. The images we know are taken by people like Tracy. She's a NASA astronaut and she's just lingering out, hanging out in her free time, looking down or looking out. And when you're up there, the view is so magnificent. You can see 1,000 kilometers across. You travel with such a high speed that you can go from the Bahamas over the Atlantic, you just back home, you wave home, boom, you're up over the Indian Ocean. It goes so fast, 90 minutes once around the planet. Sometimes it's night, next 45 minutes it's day. And you can enjoy a view where there's maybe vacationing, maybe living. Where you see places that you want to be, want to visit. But one thing is for sure, that if this was somewhere as a picture hanging up on a wall in a gallery, you would have no understanding what it is, where it comes from, how big it is. This picture is almost 1,000 kilometers across. This is how beautiful our planet is. And this is why I really enjoyed my work. because it allowed me to think about all these beautiful things every day. And it reminded me, when you're stuck in your papers and stuck in your email, that's out there right now, every day. What is also out there is images like this. Unfortunately, so this is the hurricane from last year, and it looks so peaceful and innocent. When you take a picture up there, 1 second you have it in your field of view, and 1 second it's gone. And of course, another thing that still is surreal, and I was lucky enough to see them. I hope you have seen them, or maybe you will. Northern Lights or Southern Lights. It's really strange in the sky, what a phenomenon. And our astronauts, they also never get tired of looking at these. They wake each other up in the middle of the night if they have to, and say, come on, you have to see this, flying through this band of green and red. I have to let you go. Okay, that was longer than my 30-second pitch. But if you like that topic, and if you're somehow now changed and you want to know more, guess what? You can. Because it's just at your finger's reach. I know you need a visa to travel from Düsseldorf to Cologne. Sorry for that. But do come and visit. Come and contact the people you know from here. Come and find me. And come and see for yourself. Because I can talk to you and I can put images in your mind and I can show you pictures. How about you come and you touch it for yourself? Because we have a training site where we have our rooms built one-to-one. And you can actually see and feel what it is like to be inside. And I hope I do. Thank you.